So as always, I love this map because this map makes something very tangible, something that's so intangible in nature, like our emotions makes it very, very tangible. So it's more of a kind of scientific way of looking at what we feel. So we know when we're on the left side of this map, it's incoherent. On the right side is coherent. We can be in the upper part of the left side or the right side or the lower part. The difference is the upper part is the sympathetic nervous system when we are in an elevated heart rate. The lower is the parasympathetic, the low heart rate. But a lot of people associate parasympathetic with feeling good. It's not true. You can be relaxed, like in the lower left corner, but feel withdrawn, feel resentful, feel burned out. You're incoherent in that moment. Your brain and your heart are not communicating in the most balanced way. Your entire neurophysiology is unbalanced too. But if you are in a relaxed state and being coherent on the right, lower right corner quadrant, in that state, you are experiencing basically access to your entire brain. You're more relaxed, you're feeling good. And the same goes for the unwanted emotions in the sympathetic band, right? The left side would be more anger, frustration when the heart rate is very active and not active, but rapid. And the lower and the upper right corner will be also heart rate is really elevated, but you feel courage, passion, excitement. Interestingly enough, a lot of people often confuse excitement with anxiety. And just a thought, oh, I'm feeling anxious, but maybe I'm feeling excited, and just asking, what am I actually feeling right now? Oh, what if I just welcome that feeling of excitement? As you're feeling anxious, you'll be surprised. The biophysiology of excitement and anxiety is actually very, very similar. So if you actually use your mind and you say, hey, can I welcome my anxiety and can I welcome excitement? The shift may be very, very quick. Anyway, so let's look at this map clean. So I will take myself first and I will guide myself into this first. So I'm going to notice where I am right now. You guys notice where you are. And given the nature of what I was doing up until now, I feel there's a bit of a still energy, not bad energy, but a bit hectic, maybe energy, a little bit. So I would say I'm slightly on the left side of the map right now, but not much, maybe just tiny bit. And the magic is that as soon as we pay attention and we verbalize what we feel, little FBI, okay, I feel it in my body, lower left part of my chest. Okay. As soon as I verbalize that, there's a bit of anxious, kind of pent up, slightly hectic energy, I feel it begins to dissipate because welcoming what is unwanted generally removes resistance, so you start to experience more ease. Okay, wherever you are, just take a mental note, put a little check mark or like an X there mentally. Okay, and now let's process this a little bit more. So what I'd like you to do right now is just focus your attention in the area of your heart. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. Imagine your breath is now flowing in and out of your heart. Breathing just a little bit slower, a little bit deeper than usual. And just notice that breath. First, notice as it is. Do not try to change it in any way first. If there's any jerkiness in the breath, that's reflecting the rest of the body and the mental state as well. So now it's time to regulate it a little bit. As you're focusing your attention in the area of your heart, imagine the breath is flowing in and out of your heart, breathing just a little bit slower, tiny bit deeper than usual, maybe about 5 seconds in, about 5 seconds out. Recognize that there may be thoughts, sensations. You can allow them to be as they are, not trying to change them. If there are thoughts, remember, thoughts are not an experience. Thoughts are just coming and going. Experience happens when we feel something in the body. So if there's anything that distracts your attention, gently refocus back. And that breath going in and out of your heart, breathing just a little bit slower, tiny bit deeper than usual. If there's anything in this moment that you feel does not belong, and there's a feeling left over from anything that happened earlier today, or your mind is in a different place, whatever the internal unwanted energy, could you simply allow it to be? If there's any internal resistance, could you welcome that feeling? Could you give yourself the permission to resist as much as you do? And could you also welcome the sense of acceptance of what is? And still breathing through your heart, draw in the feeling of inner ease to balance your mental and emotional energy, as if the flow of that ease is just going into your heart and out through your heart. And also feeling the sense of groundedness. Refocus back on your body, feel the support beneath your body, and just kind of let yourself fully experience the gravity. Feeling grounded, aware, take a pause. From this place, you can recognize that you are the awareness. Notice the wider view, even with your eyes closed. And staying in that welcoming space, whatever is inside. There's a thought upstairs, go into the experience downstairs. And just allow the experience to be as it is, not trying to fight it, just welcoming it. Now, one more time, focus your attention again in your heart. And from this, a little more objective place within yourself. Ask your heart, what feeling, attitude, emotion do I need right now to be the most supportive, the most conducive for the experience that's happening now? What feeling, sensation, attitude, emotion do I need in this moment? And just ask and receive as you keep on breathing through your heart. You can even look down a little bit more, kind of like allowing your head to just tilt a little bit forward, as if you're turning your inner eye, your inner attention towards your heart, and you're asking your heart, and now, what feeling, what attitude do I need in this moment? Maybe for broader, even life as well, that I can evoke right now. Yeah, for me, immediately, as soon as I started asking it, the word grounded came up right away. Grounded. And usually it comes up confidence and trust. It came up as well. I'll check a little more. Curiosity. Staying open to anything that comes up, internally and externally. So openness as well. Lightness. That's a new one. Take it lighter. Whatever comes up. Now I'm breathing. I'm going to choose the word grounded confident, trusting, and light. And my attention is on those words. Now, if you have any other words that came up in your reality, and I'm assuming something came up, don't overthink. Just allow that word to be in your awareness and just kind of breathe it into your heart. And if you like any of my words, you can just do that and take a moment. It's only natural to be aware of that energy and just evoke it in your heart by simply breathing it, inviting this feeling. So I'm inviting groundedness, trust, openness. And you're creating reality right now by choosing to focus on what you want in a very gentle way. Good. And whenever you're ready, you can just allow yourself to come back, opening your eyes, the pace and rate that feels comfortable for you. If they're closed. And here we are. Welcome back. Welcome to Maria. She joined us as well. Okay, guys. So, like I said before, no pressure. I do find it, or my clients who do ask questions, sometimes when they report back to me and say, hey, not report back to me, but when they give their account of how their experiences are, it does help when you kind of verbalize the question and then you hear the answer. It does help for you to clarify certain things and maybe get you a little bit unstuck. Because I've been on this path for a long time and I get stuck myself. The key is to remember to always pause. And I pause, that allowing comes naturally. Whatever unwanted comes up and I pause and allow it to come up. To me, that's a get out of jail thing. Because from this place, I have choice. Just a little more choice than before. And a little more and a little more. And as you live in that space longer and longer, you recognize you have more choices. In general, what you thought before, oh my God, I'm going to go into this room and I'm going to feel all that anxiety. Well, if I pause and I just kind of welcome it and take it in and focus on what's out there while allowing whatever is here and externally, and I just go like that pause and allowing is a game changer for a lot of people and for me as well. So that's as simple as it gets for the entire flow thing. But of course, even with that, there are hiccups. There are situations that are more challenging in nature. They're more, oh, I got something to lose there kind of thing. Oh my God. And that triggers the desire to control or to feel secure, safe, and so on, or approval. All right. So the floor is open. If anybody has any questions and concerns, any maybe sharing you want to share with the group about your experiences. I think Grace unmuted herself.
Hi.
Hi, Grace. Welcome. It's been a while.
Thank you. Yes, I'm still here. Um, I have like since the last time since I've joined the process and did the hypnotherapy, it's been about like a year, a little bit over a year. And I have changed. Like my reaction, the way I expect people to treat me, especially with my family, has changed. Um, and the change, I've been having a lot of pushback and like issues because it's like I created this horrible pattern of wanting to please people, especially my family. When they want something, I go out of my way to do them. If they need money, I give it. Like it's always like it's been giving, 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 giving. And the past year, I'm putting my foot down. I'm speaking up for myself. I'm even sometimes getting angry. Um, so now it's like I feel kind of alone sometimes because it's like it's like they don't want to deal with me like that anymore.
So let me interrupt you right here because I do want to clarify something. So you're saying that when you came into this process and you were doing this work before, before you were
Mhm.
doing this work, you were feeling um, like for the lack of a better word, there was a sense of like wanting approval in a sense, or living up to expectations of other people, and difficulty to say no, and you kind of put yourself last, because I remember,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So as you were doing this work, let's first talk about the changes that happened in you, and after that we're going to address, because that's a question really, I'm changing but people around me are not, or they taking a lot slower to change. And now I feel like I'm on this not on the same wavelength with them anymore. What do I do about that? We're going to come back to this, and I'll address it as much as I can. If it's a question you want me to talk about, because it's
Yeah.
important.
Hmm.
But let's first talk about the changes. So what do you notice? What have you been noticing about yourself that's different about the way you are now compared to how you were before?
Well, if I don't like something, I say I don't like it. If I don't want to do something, I don't want to do it. If I'm not comfortable with something, I speak up. Like I'm just a lot more vocal about what I want and my, like putting myself maybe not first, but maybe third or fourth, and it's creating, it's like I feel like people don't like me as much. Um,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel, and I'm angry at myself because I created the monsters. Allowed them to be this way for so long, and now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is not, I'm not okay with this. And it's like, oh, okay, fine then, what's your problem? And, you know, or she's so now, selfish, or, it's like I'm getting pushback from people I'm really like shocked of. Like I'm like, wow, it's shocking to me sometimes, just like for the basic things. But then it's like I'm mad. I'm more mad at myself because I'm like, well, you did allow this for like 30 years.
Okay. So in this moment, let's process this first. Let's process this. So can you be aware of that whole dynamic? And guys, I'm going to invite all of you to also recognize there are other people in your life, in all of your lives, that are having certain expectations. So just think of those more difficult relationships that you guys all have. And for you, Grace, just get a sense of what it feels like. Gosh, I'm putting myself now as close to being first as I can. By the way, being first and allowing yourself to put yourself first is the best thing you can do for other people as well. I'll say this again. When you put yourself first, it's the best thing you can do for other people as well. The moment we start to play this game and say, oh, I don't know if I'm deserving to be the first, you're actually hurting other people without thinking, without knowing how. So when you put yourself first and you allow yourself to be that confident person, long term, you're helping the world to be a better place. But we're not talking about this right now. So, and in this moment, notice that even though you've been through some amazing journey of self work, releasing past trauma, drama, conditioning, which naturally allows you to feel more you, to feel more confident, to be able to speak up, to say no. It takes a lot of confidence, right?
Hmm.
When there was no confidence before, it was simply impossible to say no, because you don't have the energy to say the no word, like put a boundary, say something, hey, it's not working for me. You don't have the energy for that. You need confidence, some level of self-esteem to do that. Do you not?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you've built up that confidence and that self-esteem. And now you see the reactions of other people and you're like, gosh, but now anger comes up, anger at you saying that, hey, you allowed it and all that. That's what the mind does. Instead of giving you credit for saying, hey, you know what? It's me, it's about my life, and it's about me growing. And it's been a year. Of course, 30 years of conditioning will probably take some time for them to get used to the new presence of me. And if they love me and if I'm part of their life, they will have to adjust to me. And it takes a little bit of time, but the subconscious mind goes, no, you did this, did that, did this. So it's an old pattern showing up, right? So in this moment, can you notice that sense of judgment, self-judgment?
Yeah.
Sense of a little bit of rejection of yourself. Can you sense that?
Mm-hmm.
Could you welcome it? Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. And a little more. Just allow that sense of self-judgment. And I'm pretty sure everybody's listening to me here also can relate to that sense of self-judgment and that self-rejection and like, oh, I am this way and that way. I'm not living up to my, to what I'm supposed to be. So could you welcome that? That sense of self-rejection, self-judgment. And just for now, Grace, could you let that go? Just for now. You can get it back later. Could you let go of that sense of self-rejection and self-judgment? Welcome any remaining self-judgment in this moment. That's right. And more. And more. Kind of like, I allowed it to happen. It's my fault. That's right. And just welcome that even more. And just for now, remember, letting go is a decision you're making, right? So it's an internal decision, just for now. Could you let go of that sense of rejecting yourself?
Yes.
Would you let that go? Would you be
Yeah.
willing to let that go? Good. And check. Could you welcome also the sense of accepting yourself? The sense of being okay with you and your past. Could you welcome that acceptance?
Yes.
Good. Now welcome rejection again. And everyone, play with me right now. Just play with me. Welcome the sense of self-rejection. You know where those points are where you're rejecting yourself, where you're judging yourself. Allow it to come up a little more. Welcome any remaining self-rejection. And more. There may be this clutching feeling somewhere in the lower part of the body, below your chin, maybe chest, gut. Welcoming that rejection. And now welcome acceptance of what is and what you are as you are. And more of that acceptance. Now let's do this again. Now welcome rejection. That energy pushing yourself away, kind of like, nah, not you, not like this. They kind of get a sense of that. Give it some space. Allow it to come up a little more, that sense of self-rejection. Can you welcome it? Any remaining? Yeah. You're doing well, doing well. And now welcome acceptance. Just acceptance of how you are. Recognizing that this is your path. And could you also send yourself some approval? Just for the heck of it. Just because. That's right. And if there's anything else that comes up, like sadness or anything, Allow yourself, open up to this as well. You're doing well. Because as you give yourself a little bit of approval and acceptance, there may be a sense of sadness, of course, as if you're holding that little one inside. Remember that little one, all of you, remember that little one that you all have. Go back to this little one right now. Grace, go back to her, to your own little one. I'm not talking about your other adorable little one. I'm talking about your Grace, little Grace. Go back to this little young girl or boy that, for whoever is listening here, and just give him a hug, like a loving and nurturing parent, loving and accepting just the way they are, being there for them. And that's an amazing experience because in this moment, you know what real acceptance feels like. When you talk to this little Grace, or little Christine, or little Andre, little Natalia, the tiny one, so loving, so loved, lovable. That's what acceptance feels like. And that could also bring up some sadness, but that's a good kind of sadness. That's a sense of release because so many stories happen throughout the life. So welcome that sadness as well. It's kind of this bittersweet taste to this, and stay as the awareness, recognizing that you're on your path. Embrace that little one within yourself. And from this bigger space, that's right. Notice that consciousness. You can even look up a little bit into your upper kind of field of vision, as if you're looking up into your head. Higher up, there's this big, big space. Could be any color, be blue or brown or gray or any other color, dark or light. And as you're looking up in there, just kind of allow your entire being, allow your entire awareness to just go up there. Your entire being is now going into this higher place. This is your consciousness. This is you. All the way down there. From here, you can sense things that are down there. But from here, in a much, much bigger space. And also from this bigger space, see these other people. I ask you to think about some other person in your life who this old pattern is remaining. And just, but from this bigger space, knowing that you are the awareness, perceive this other person and recognize that they are awareness too. They have their own stuff that they have not processed. They have their own hurt that they have not released. And could you also welcome them, whatever they bring into your internal experience here? So everything is welcome right now. And if there's any wanting to control them, we all have that. I have that too. Can welcome that and just let that go for now. And allow them to be as they are. And can go back into the space up there, kind of look up a little bit and allow your entire being to get elevated up there and just sensing, feeling from this bigger, wider space. And from this bigger, wider space, just sit back or relax as that awareness that you are. Boundless, spaceless, timeless awareness that you are. Beyond all stories. And notice how the awareness sees the entire situation, and give yourself some credit for putting all the work you have done over the weeks and months, and for you, Grace, whole year of working on yourself, and give yourself some approval from here. Gosh, yeah, I am different. And the world is adjusting to me on my terms, however long it takes. And if I love someone, I'll allow them to go through their experience. And if I need to put a boundary, I will. That's right. Just let that be. There may be ideas realizations that come from this wider, bigger space, beyond the limitations of the limited mind. As your heart's opening up more feelings are flowing, that's a good thing. You're welcoming, you're more allowing. And that's already processing, releasing the old perceptions that, gosh, they are not seeing me for who I am, into, oh, they're just going through their journey on their terms. And perhaps I can let go of wanting to control them, in the sense that I want them to feel good. I want them to feel as released as I am. I want them to tap into their true selves, but they're still living in the old reality of hurt. And that's why when people are hurt people hurt people. But recognize that it's all about the truth of who you are. This boundless awareness that you are. And from this bigger space, you know what's possible for them too. And still allowing them to go through their journey as they do. And if there's any resistance to their experience, you can welcome that too and make a choice inside of you to let the resistance go. Just be as you are. What's happening? What's happening now?
Well, I definitely, like felt sad. Like when,
Yeah.
like you said, welcome the sadness. It does make me feel sad when it's like I'm just, it feels like I'm not really being heard, um, and then it does make me feel sad that I'm mad at myself. Like I put myself down all the time, so.
And from this place of sadness right now, in this moment, because if you don't go into thinking or memory, stay in the now, in this moment. Notice, is there any anger at yourself?
No.
Yeah, there is
But
sadness.
how do I stay there? Like, how do I stay in, like, not thinking about the past? Like, how do I stay
Yeah,
in?
this is how. Watch this. Just remind yourself in any given point in time. And then again, and then again. There's no such a thing as staying anywhere. The more you try to stay somewhere, you're attached, you're already out of it. Staying is already the mind fabricated concept. How about you just do this with me right now? Check. In this moment, if you don't go into thinking or memory, and the mind already wants to go into thinking, but really, okay, pause, notice what is. I bet you see things around you, you're looking at things around you, but you're not seeing them. Now see them now. Come back to the experience of now, actual now. Okay, don't move. Feel the fingers of your left hand touching the surface of your face. I bet you were not feeling that before, but now you are. Notice that, feel that. Now, you're seeing me, but see the wider space and everything around you. Just look around, be here in this moment. That is the awareness, not judgment of, oh, that means this. The moment you go, oh, it touches my face and that means, and oh, I felt that and that means, no, drop any meaning making right now. Just be. What's happening now, by the way? You're smiling.
Yeah.
It gets you grounded in the present moment. But now check from this bigger space. Expand it even more. It's a very simple exercise. Look, there's also space above you. If there was an airplane flying there about maybe 500 feet above, what would that sound like? Oh, don't even visualize it. Just get a sense of that. If there was a conversation behind you, what would that sound like? Maybe 20 feet behind you. Play with me right now, all of you guys. Just get a sense of that wider, bigger space. And in this moment, if you don't go into thinking or memory, is there a problem?
No.
And it's a choice. You're making the choice at any given point in time. Pause. I promise you, quote me on that, Grace. if you just remember that and you come back to this over and over again throughout the day, doesn't matter what happens to you. Oh, there's a feeling here. Okay, great. Now, before I was this feeling. But if I pause, okay, there's a feeling. And there's everything else. And oh my God, this moment. Oh my God, there's a beautiful microphone here. I was not even paying attention to it. Oh, there's this cup of coffee here. There's life. It's happening now. It's not a fabricated reality of the mind. This happened before, or this should happen or not happen later. Now. And it's so freeing to recognize you have a choice now. All the story is gone. Oh, the story comes back? Come back to now. Or the feeling comes back? Come back to now and feel it. That's the key. People think, oh, I need to go here. And I turn into this meditation zombie. And oh, that's my spirituality. No. It's here. It's now. Your spirituality is here now. Choose the present moment now. And you're not going away from this feeling into some kind of mysterious meditative space, away from this feeling. No, you're going into here and now, into this bigger awareness that you are. And you're welcoming this and this sensation and everything else. And in the welcoming space, there's no judgment. You're just experiencing and everything else. Do this with me, Grace, again. Oh, remember the airplane behind? The sound, what would that sound like? Right, and now this bigger space and and if you don't go into thinking, let me ask you differently. If there was no problem to solve, guys, process with me right now. Check. Come back to the present moment, be aware. Look at something. Okay. I'm looking at the picture right now on the wall. And there's a name there. It says Robinson. That's the name of the artist, I guess. Nice. Okay, there are a couple more birds there. I'm seeing something. So, okay, that's an experiment for you. Just see something. Don't just look at it. Actually see it. Notice something new and different in your room right now that you were not paying attention to before. Something new and different. I have a beautiful lamp over there. And there's a little scratch there. I never paid attention to it before. Okay, now you can look back at me, yet keep in the awareness the bigger space. You don't have to get like all like spaced out in this trance. Just, okay, you're talking to me and be aware of the bigger space and all that space above you. And here you have a choice now. You can attend to me, you can attend to anything else, but now you're choosing to listen to me and process this question with me right now. Guys, from this space, if there was no problem to solve, what's actually here now? Whatever you thought, drop it because it's already in the past. If there's no problem to solve at all, what's actually here now? And now. No, that's already in the past. If you don't, there's no problem to solve. Oh gosh, this is this room and all this space, and I am. And notice that awareness, the pure awareness, there's no judgment. If there's judgment, you're thinking. So if you don't go into thinking or memory, what's actually here now? Now, you're not spiritually bypassing into some fabricated reality called awareness. No, you're getting out of fabrications of the mind into what's actually here now. You drop all the thinking and the mind reading of what other people think of you, because a lot of those are assumptions based on your own prior experiences. You're believing that they have to be thinking that of you, and that and you're acting in the way that actually makes them think that of you, as opposed to drop all this bullshit, come back to now. And all of a sudden the belief is gone, and then all of those people around you all of a sudden see you, not the story that you were seeing in you. As you see you, they see you. Crazy stuff. And then, gosh, this guy Miguel Ruiz, the one that wrote Four Agreements, God, he's talking about, I mean, I reread the book after 8 years, and I'm like, this is the Bible. Doesn't matter if you're, whatever, Christian, Catholic, Jewish, it's the same Bible
Mm-hmm.
principles. Don't make assumptions, don't take things personally, be impeccable with your
Mm-hmm.
word, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be perfect. Just
Mm-hmm.
just
Do
do
your
your best,
best.
right? But
Yeah.
now, do not make assumptions where we are in that constant mind read. Oh yeah, well, my husband or my wife or my mom or my whatever or my dad, oh, they must be thinking that. Guys, you have no idea what they think. They're all stuck in their story, and everybody, and if you see them being aggressive or judgmental at times, they're freaking scared. They're living in their own made up reality. But as you come back to, and that's what I mean by putting yourself first, that is, oh, right, here, awareness. Put yourself first. As you go through life as awareness, other people by osmosis learn from you. It's just becoming, you're just spreading that. Children, especially, and we all feel guilty and all that. Welcome, release, welcome, release, welcome, release. I feel guilty about Michael. I'm going to visit him. He's 21 and he's in Chicago living with his girlfriend and working for this hedge fund. Everything seems to be great, but I'm scared every time he calls me and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to tell me, Papa, I feel anxious. What should I do? And I'm like, I'm such a failure. Ooh, hey, come back to now. Feel the feeling. Drop the story that I'm going to think in a memory. What is it? My son is calling me. I'm going to have a conversation with him. I'm not living in the past of how it was or how it should be. Come back to now. And oh, if the feeling of guilt comes up, he could have done it better. He could have suffered less because I made mistakes and I'm a hypnotherapist. And how could a hypnotherapist helping other people could allow this shit to happen to my son when he was younger and now he's feeling anxious and all that? We all have the stories. I know you know what I'm talking about, right? You have your stories as being a mother of your son. So I'm like, pause, welcome, drop it. Come back to here, come back to now. Let's do this again. I was just thinking about my son. So can I welcome that feeling? Welcome whatever feeling, whatever unwanted idea may be in there. And just don't even try to let it go. Give it all the space. All of you guys, whatever in this moment, whatever thought, kind of like, oh, whatever limitation you believe you have, just do this with me right now. Whatever perceived limitation, issue, problem, Grace, I recommend you stick with the same idea as before. So you kind of keep on working through that. So for you, it would be, yeah, whatever remaining idea that I'm changing, I'm becoming more vocal, but people around me, they're still the way they were. Just welcome this whole spin, the whole idea, and the story you were telling yourself that, oh, I feel so lonely and all that, and wanting to change them and all that. Just welcome that. Allow that to come up a little more. And also welcome how much you're trying to do something with it or about it. Guys, whatever your perceived limitation is, just notice how much you're trying to do something with it. We're living in this world where we're thinking that we have to do something. Like, I have to be doing something. Notice how much you're trying to push or pull or make something better, and how personal it feels and how heavy efforting it feels. Welcome that. Ooh, I want to be a different person. I want to go and maybe socialize more and all that push. I have to, I should be, or I have to be this, or I have to be that, or other people, whatever that perceived limitation is. Notice how much you're efforting at it and welcome that. And could you also welcome how personal it feels? Personal means, examine this idea of personal. I am separate from everybody else. This maintaining that specialness of me as being separate from the world around, which is a limitation. It's another limitation, another illusion, by the way, but check. Welcome that sense of how personal it feels. It's about you. It's about your issue. It's about sense of me, mine. sense of I am. Not even I am, but it's mine, my issue. Now, could you also welcome what's beyond personal? All that, which is not that issue that you thought you had. Everything else, the universe of choices. And could you also rest right now as that awareness that you are? That includes the perceived limitation, but is not bound by it. And from this bigger, wider space, just check right now in this moment. If there was no problem to solve, okay, I want you to rerun this question again. Stay and listen to my voice and just rerun that question. If there was no problem to solve, what's actually here now? And before the mind says anything, there's something beyond words. There's no problem to solve. What's actually here now? And whatever thought comes up, come back to now. If I don't go into thinking or memory, is there a problem? And from this bigger space, now perceive the reality again with all the people, circumstances, what you thought was an issue. And notice what's your perception, how it's different right now. Grace, for you, how is it different right now?
It's a lot more quiet. When you ask if there's no problems to solve, what is there now? I just heard peace. Um, um,
It's a little overwhelming sometimes to recognize that piece is actually here and now. And the next layer of the feeling that you just felt coming up, my God, this is beautiful. Feel it and allow while you're in that bigger space. Choose the bigger space. Here you are. The feeling just came up and you're here. There's a feeling in everything else. You're smiling. What was that thought that just came up? Or what's happening now?
I mean, it felt good, you know.
Yes, it did. Even though you may, if you kind of take that out of this experience right now and kind of say, that is sadness. And I was feeling sad. Wait, you felt release. That's how we label things. What you felt, it was a release, like coming up here. And you can celebrate it and go, yes, thank you, subconscious. I just released, I just dropped something and it felt good to release. Or the mind can go, yeah, I was feeling sad. We always do that. That's a matter of drop the label. That's why I'm saying this, guys. Remember what I say. Read my lips. That was President Reagan, I think he would say. Read my lips. Drop labels. Grace, you had this experience just a moment. It was so beautiful to watch you. You're going to this bigger space, and then, this feeling comes up, and then, and the mind may go one or the other way, right? This is good because, or this is bad because, about the same experience, right? So now, all I'm saying to you is drop the label. Just feel. And choose the bigger space. And I say choose the bigger space. Choose, because I think I don't know how much of a fact of neuroscience it is. At least the person that I learned it from, that's how he sold it. So I don't know. I haven't checked it. So according to that person, according to neuroscience, as per that person's interpretation, our ability to stay in that non-judgmental awareness space is limited by about 3 seconds neurologically. So you can make a choice. Here. And I'm making because it's my sound. You don't have, please don't do that. Don't do it on your own. Like, this is the sound I'm making. That's my body is releasing something. So I'm just making this. Okay. I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking about it. Okay, drop it. If I don't go into thinking and play with me, if I don't go into thinking or memory, what's actually here now? Before any label comes up, there's that. So according to neuroscience, that choice to be aware is about 3 seconds. And then the neurophysiology kind of starts to pull us back into the old story. It's not my experience. I feel sometimes it's 3 seconds. Sometimes I just had a pointer and I can stay like this for the next 30 seconds until something else comes up and then, and I come back. Now, I want to say a few things. I don't care if it's 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 30 seconds. I guess it has to do with conditioning. So the more you do this, the longer it'll stay. But do not try to hold on to it. This is a paradox of anything that has to do with practical spirituality. Anything. I had a good experience. All of you had cathartic experiences in hypnosis. For some of you, catharsis was intense crying. For some of you, cathartic experience could be, I just teared up a little bit and I felt this release. It feels good. It's actually a good thing. I felt something that I was not feeling before, and the release feels good. Now the mind clings to this and goes, that's good. I want more. I want more. I want more. And then the next time I'm like, okay, can I welcome it? Can I let it go? I'm not getting the same experience. I want to get that same old experience back. That's a trap. Drop it. That's trying to figure it out. How many times in the flow course I say, pause. Could you welcome how much you're trying to understand and figure it out? Yes. Could you let that go? I need to figure it out. No, I need to figure it out to be an intelligent human being. No, every good chess player will tell you when they drop figuring it out, they have a full visibility of what needs to happen intuitively. Every good mathematician, not the stupid way they taught us in class and school, we have to be thinking. No, you let go of something, the answer comes to you. Every inventor will tell you, it's not the thinking that, Tesla, not Musk, but the actual Nikola Tesla, right? He would go into this space. We're getting into the space. We're learning how to this. But he would do this in a more kind of hypnotic way, closing his eyes, doing the seventh path and going delta and use my life. No, he wasn't doing that. Seventh path did not exist at that time. So he would go into that space in the same space that Thomas Edison would go into. They both invented a couple of things, right? Thomas Edison created that first light bulb. Thomas Edison would go into that space holding something heavy in his hand. And as soon as he falls asleep, that thing falls from his hand. So he would drop it. So he would maintain the awareness while being in that no mind space. Tesla would do the same without the weight. He would also do some kind of awareness. And the intention is to invent that next engine. And according to Nikola Tesla, it just emerged from somewhere. The entire thing just emerged. There was no sequential thinking process. How do I need to be more confident when I do this and this, encounter certain people, whatever. No, it's just a choice of, I choose to be confident, intention, and let go of everything else. Let go of trying to figure it out and just go back into this space. In the deeper meditative space, that's how Einstein got his theory of relativity. Read this. He did not think it into existence. He talks about it. When he let go of all the thinking, in a dream of him, he was meditating, then he kind of fell into this nap state, didn't fall fully asleep, but went into this nap. And then he saw this clear dream. It's called a hypnotic dream, where there's a beam of light. And Einstein is riding that beam of light. And in that moment, he got it. It was just Guys, no thinking created some viable idea. We are never, ever, ever creating good stuff, and anything good in your life never comes as a result of thinking. And if you really think about it, all the suffering you've ever experienced is a constant thinking process. So thinking created the suffering, and thinking keeps it going. When you drop thinking, that which you wanted to figure out gets figured out effortlessly. And that is the paradox of, I don't know, it is a paradox for it's not a paradox for rural India, where they're born into families of welcoming and allowing. That's why they live like there are over 70,000 registered centurions in India, people over the age of 70, over the age of 100. And if you look at them, the 100-year-old rural Indian person looks like a 65-year-old or 60-year-old American person, oftentimes. And it's nothing crazy about that. You stop thinking, you stop aging, or you slow down your aging, put it this way. Because thinking, and that's what the flow course is based on, the principle. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to, I gave this example. Hopefully you remember that example of me, my first experience of rip current in the ocean in Florida, right? I swim, everything's good. And then eventually like, oh gosh, I'm far. I'm like, oh shit. And now I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go fast. And I go fast. And then I'm not coming closer to the ocean. Boom. I'm in this thinking. Oh my God, what should I do? I need to push more. And I'm in thinking mode, trying to think. And I would have drowned if by some grace of God, talking about grace, so you showed up again, that letting go happened. Because when I was ready to give up, I'm like, and I stopped thinking, and I'm like, it's over. I stopped fighting and resisting. And then water had the tendency to push me out of the thing that I was stuck in. I had no idea. Thinking would have gotten me into my final battle of my life. Dropping thinking, because I was pushed to let go. I was pushed to let go. Why do we have to wait to be pushed to let go? We can choose to let go, and choose and come back, choose and come back. And we're getting into this space of no thinking, but awareness. And awareness is aliveness. It's not gone. No, awareness it's a walking meditation. Remember the 3-second rule. It makes it easier. If you lost it, choice and come back. Choice and come back. Let's do this now. Just see something that you were not paying attention to before. Notice something new and different. Okay, nice. I like this title. Psychology Today, the newest one. I'm subscribing to Psychology Today. So I just looked at, I had no idea I have love and loyalty sitting on my table, on my desk in front of me, because I was thinking. And now, so see what's here. Okay, now, again, make a choice. If there's no problem to solve, what's actually here now? Okay, the answer that I heard was the door is here now, but so is everything else. Again, expand your awareness a little bit more. So I'm aware of this, and be aware of the walls around you. If there was an airplane flying, just do this with me right now. Process. Airplane flying above you. What would that sound like? My mind got me pulled out of the awareness into thinking, oh, I just heard that, jet breaking the sound barrier, and I already go into the whole story. We don't want to do that. Quickly. Oh, that's what it would feel like. Boom, you're back here. Now, in a more expanded space, again, if you don't go into thinking or memory, what's actually here now? And now, Oh, that's already in the past. And now? Well, guess what? Think of it as in the computer world with networks, there's something called ping. Like you ping something, like you ping and you check, you ping and you check, you ping and you check. So you gotta like ping universe. Oh, I'm here. Ping universe. Oh, I'm here. You're making that choice every time. You're offloading yourself from the story. You're not running away from the story. If there was a feeling legitimately here, you're saying yes to it from a bigger space. You're not saying no to anything. You're saying yes. That's the allowing. Oh, I just felt the sadness. Yes, feel, allow, and make a choice. Come back to here. From this bigger space, you're making a choice. You're training yourself to stay in the moment. And every time, like Grace, what prompted my long explanation here was your comment. It was a great comment and very timely comment. I appreciate that. Well, how do I stay this way? You know how many times I asked my coaches and my teachers throughout my 21-year-old journey on this path, like how many times I said, oh, I got this, it feels good. How do I just caught Phoenix by the tail. How do I? No. It's drop the idea of catching it. It's here. You don't have to catch anything. It's actually you. When you drop something, you come back to it. Oh, I just dropped. Come back. And generally, it's dropping thinking. The key is like this. Okay, guys, process with me right now. That's a slightly different idea. And first, there's a bit of an overload as far as like ideas. That's all irrelevant. It's about the experience. So just for now, come back to now. You're alive. Simple being. Stories come and go. So thinking happens here. That's how neurology works, right? So when we're thinking, we're kind of hearing. It's the auditory channel. So that's why it's mainly here. Visual processing happens here. Generally, ignore it. Don't fight with it. This is the act that we need to do. If you want to be more introspective within yourself, or you can go out and just, oh, that's a good technique for anxiety as well. Like, okay, I want to go into this space with a bunch of people socializing or whatever, or I need to do a presentation to a bunch of people, there's a conference or whatever, and I need to introduce myself, give the business cards, or, I want to meet with someone, whatever. Come in this moment, you don't want to go here. You want to come out and about. Actually notice, just make yourself. Mind's going to start to pull you here. No, don't. That's the time when you forget about FBI, feeling by the intensity. Don't do that yet. First, notice what's new and different. Okay. Oh, person there. Oh, that's a nice dress somebody has. Oh, okay. Nice ceiling. Oh, I didn't pay attention to that. Make yourself hear the sounds. Expand. Notice the space above. So from this space, ask yourself, if I don't go into thinking or memory, I teach this in level 3, I think, of the flow as a technique, but I can't, overemphasize it enough. So if I don't go into thinking or memory, oh, what's here now? And the answer could be, oh, here's fear. Great. And you can, I teach another technique where don't worry about it now. Like, am I really this fear, or am I that which is aware of the fear? That's also doing a good thing for your neurology. But you can simply come back to here. Okay. But if there's no problem to solve, what's actually here now? Do this a few times. Ping, ping, ping. And from this bigger space, that's when you can be aware of this and welcome whatever comes up here. Don't fight it, but stay in the bigger space. Welcome it. Yeah. And that's a good place to evoke a good feeling. Like you can check with yourself, like, okay, so anxious. Okay, that's how I've been. So, how would I like to feel instead? Process that. How would I like to feel instead? Confident and free. Intention is on that without words, just the two words, confident and free. And just be aware of your breath. If you did the heart focused breathing exercise enough times without the stress, when you are in a stressful situation, that will be your anchor. So I do recommend that you do your heart focused breathing exercises, how I teach you in the flow course, on a regular basis. You're driving a car, stop at the intersection, back to your heart, evoke inner ease. Breathe, ease through heart. That's easy to remember. BR, breathe, ease, EA, ease, T through, and HE, heart. Breathe. Breathe, ease through heart. Oh, I'm waiting for a bank, my turn with go to a bank machine, the ATM. Okay, you got 45 seconds to wait. Intention. Breathe, ease through heart, and expand. Simple as that. Do this 5 times. What prevents you from doing it 10 times a day? You don't have to, it's not a technique that you have to drop everything else. Yeah, you can also do it as a technique to drop everything else. That's how I do it in the morning. Oh, I can spend 8 minutes with the device to kind of learn a little bit more of coherence. And I want to have a specific training on that later, on how do you actually dance with your mind and body to get to higher coherence. But don't worry about it now. So the act of pausing, re-expanding, and coming back to your heart with the intention of ease conditions you to choose that quicker and evoke it quicker in your internal experience when you need it. There are 3 strategies: preparation, prepping, shift and reset, and sustain. So I'm talking about prepping first. When there's no stress, don't wait until shit hits the fan, excuse my French. You do that. But when you're in a stressful situation, now I have a job interview, or I need to socialize with these people that I don't know, or I have to handle this phone call, or there's an important meeting tomorrow, or whatever. You're in a stressful situation. That's when you re-expand. First, get out of your body. Don't focus here. Here, get out of your body. Re-expand. Just feel more grounded, feel the support. Okay, re-expand, check what's new and different. If I don't go into thinking or memory, what's actually here now? Yeah, now I feel this. Okay. Allow and welcome it. Don't fight it, don't resist it. And that's when you can go into your heart and just stay with that awareness of the breath while maintaining being aware. Do this with me right now. It's very simple. Okay, notice what's here and include your heart. That's all. The awareness on the heart, breath. But look at me, guys. I'm attached to the breath in my heart now. It's okay to do this. Just look at me, guys. Look at me. Look what I'm doing right now. Eyes are looking down. I'm kind of getting grounded. Feel your body. Feel your feet on the floor. If there's any constriction in the body, kind of let that go. Relax. But if you stay like this, you're losing the point. Now you want to re-expand. And somewhere in the periphery, I still feel my heart. But I also am aware of that lighthouse on the picture. I'm aware of, just came into my awareness, Christine's microphone and the headset. I'm aware of everything else and my heart. And I don't have to think about it. I'm just aware. And that feeling that was there, okay, it's there, it's not there, I don't really care. I'm just staying in this open, welcoming space. Attention is on what is, and somewhere in the background, there's that breath going. Not like, remember the difference. Okay, let me play it out again for you. In the beginning, it was like this. And now it's no longer in the foreground of my awareness. It's in the background. Before it was in the foreground. I'm kind of connecting maybe 3, 4, 5 cycles of getting into this heart focus to get that going. And now it's already going. I'm going to still breathe. Somewhere back in the periphery, I'm kind of like keeping it at that pace while being here. And I'm available. Oh, I have a choice. I can turn to this. I can do this. I can do that. I'm no longer stuck in that, because generally when we go into this place, oh, there's a place to socialize in and there's a bunch of people there. And I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to do now? And this thought, thinking. And the awareness is very collapsed. If you look at yourself, I talk about this in the context of me swimming. I recognize it. I didn't see what's in front of me. I'm just here. Collapse, like somewhere here. I don't see my mother and the guy were there showing me something to get me out of this. I was not peripherally aware. Animals don't do that. Animals, if I stop being peripherally aware, I become prey. I'm a rabbit and I'm eating my... The moment I do it, somebody's going to eat me. So I have to develop that. Humans lost it in the process of evolution. Let's get it back. Counterintuitive. Mind goes, no. Pause. Don't fight with the mind. You're so cute. Barking. You're so cute. Let it do what it does. But you have a choice, right? So, oh. And breath. That's it. Now, in this space now, I don't like the word control, but that's the best way to say this. You took control of the situation. The awareness, in a sense, took control from the mind. Mind may still be part of the experience, but it's no longer running the show. There's something bigger above the mind in which mind is happening. Not fighting it. Let it do what it does. That took control of that. Navy SEALs learn this as one of the most important techniques. They go through 10 levels of the training, including, swimming with the sharks and all that. But that's one of their biggest, most powerful techniques that they all have is, think about the Navy SEAL, what they do, right? A small group of 10 Navy SEALs goes into the enemy territory with like thousands of soldiers around and hostilities and whatnot. And he has no control of anything, right? So he gets dropped into the situation. There are bombs, there are bullets. The first thing they learn is they need to take control. Cannot be the way to live, but in that moment, of their breath. And they re-expand and they breathe. Same things are happening. And the fear is here. Now I'm adding, welcome that. Staying here. Breathe. You're stabilizing your presence. And be available to what's here now. So once you're in that, you're here and you're aware of this in the periphery, eventually you can drop this. You're kind of like, here you are. And stay in the awareness, get out of the mind. Ping, come back. Ping, come back. Oh, yeah, it's here. You will notice that which knows in you will show the way. That which needs to be figured out will be figured out. The action that needs to be taken will be taken. By who? By some magical law of attraction God that says, visualize an action. No, by you, but effortlessly. Like, as soon as you make that choice and you get out of that mind, that which mind does well will be done as long as you make a choice to get out of that mind. That's a paradox, that's why I'm, using all kinds of analogies. It's very difficult to explain. It's experiential. But the rule of thumb is, and just be present. Oh, there's this feeling. Great. Don't ignore it. Open up to it. Give it more space. Don't label it. Yeah, of course, I teach labeling, FBI, give it a name, evoke a different feeling. Those are training wheels. Eventually, the game is, and stay open. And if you need to remind yourself, oh, how would I like to feel instead? Check with the heart. Confident, free, grounded. Boom. The words materialize in your neurophysiology by just having the intention. It's not thinking, it's the intention. And breathing through your heart. And you evoke that feeling. Try that evoking of the feeling. You're going to be very surprised. You got this power in you to actually manifest the feeling into reality. You can think a word, focus on your heart, breathe through your heart, as long as you stay open and welcoming of the negative as well, if there is a negative, not fighting with it, but refocusing your attention on what you want and welcoming that. At first it's going to be both happening. If you remember the river example, I draw it and I say, hey, the negative goes into the river and the positive goes into the river. They're both here. Nothing gets blocked. They're both moving through. As long as they're moving through, that negative dissipates, the positive starts to get stronger. Back to simple idea. Re-expand, allow, welcome what is. And if you want to set the intention, oh, I choose to feel that confidence in me right now. Oh, there's that specific person right there that I want to come up to and have a conversation with. Oh, shit. Welcome it. Re-expand. Oh, shit, even more. Welcome it. Re-expand. Oh, how would I like to feel instead? After a few breaths. Confident. Cheerful. Have fun. Confident. Cheerful. Have fun. Re-expand. Confident. Cheerful. Fun. Re-expand. Boom. The next thing you know, you're coming up to that person and saying, hey, how you doing? Whatever that thing is that you need to do in the moment. So, and boils down to very simple principles. Awareness and allowing and welcoming what is without fighting it. Not believing the mind and not fighting with the mind. You don't have to, somebody's shouting and saying something. You're bad, you're a failure, no. Not engaging. How do you not engage? There's no concept of not engaging. I'm just saying this. You engage with something else. How do you not engage with the thoughts? Not by blocking the thoughts, not by nutting them, not by negating them. No. Don't go into this positive thinking territory. Somebody will teach you. I tried it. To me, it didn't work. Focus on the negative thought, change it to a positive thought. Focus on drop that bullshit. No positive thinking here. The negative thought, another negative thought, another negative thought. It's here. Remember, upstairs. Focus on the experience here. Allow it to be. Focus on something else out there. Allow it to be. Do not believe your mind. Don't engage with it. Do not engage. I do get this from people sometimes. Are you saying that we should stop thinking? Are we not going to turn into some dumb, stupid people? We're not thinking. It's about thinking. Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. Well, Descartes had no idea about neuroscience. It's not the thinking that he meant. I am aware. Thinking may be part of my experience. But awareness goes beyond thinking. So, re-expand. It's bullshitting you. Let it bullshit you. Don't engage. Focus on the experience. Allow it to come up. re-expand, focus, re-expand, focus, re-expand, breathe through the heart, and evoke a positive feeling if you need to. But generally, in my experience, I don't even have to evoke a positive feeling. It just kind of happens. The awareness is that positive experience, right? That's it. And this, after the hypnotherapy work you've done, when you had to go back into the most painful experiences of the past, the most painful experiences of the younger self, go there, dive there, process that, release that from the past, forgive certain people that harmed you. That creates the foundation for your psyche. And this, which we're discussing right now, creates the neuroplasticity aspect of that. The foundation created the pathways, it created the roads. And as you, Grace, said, the road is that of more confidence, more self-esteem, more ability to choose what you want as opposed to listen to what other people tell you. But the pathways were created, we need to reinforce them, because the old pathways, I'm bad, I'm a failure, anxiety, they're still there too. But the new pathways, right? The ones that we confident, peaceful, present, assertive, they need to be reinforced. These old pathways, how many decades it took you to reinforce those, the old ones? 2, 3 decades? The new ones? We need to reinforce that. We need to work on, I'm making it difficult. There's nothing to work on, really. Just need to be aware and just come back to now and do the little things that I'm teaching you and flow teaches you and we reinforce here. The new pathways will be gradually reinforced. And if the mind goes, you're not changing, of course, the mind's going to do that. You will never change. The mind's going to do that. You focus on the experience, not on the thoughts. Do your 7th path, because that does more from the hypnotherapy standpoint, deeper foundational changes happen. And moment-to-moment awareness creates that neuroplasticity where the new pathway is connected to confidence, freedom, self-esteem, clarity. It's a natural state of who we are. They just get reinforced, becoming stronger and bigger. Neurons grow more and more and more and more. They say the neuron that's been worked on habitually could grow, don't quote me on this because I don't remember, but I think up to like 100 times bigger. You have brain cells. The neuron responsible for anxiety could be this big. I mean, they're tiny, but let's say compared to the neuron responsible for confidence is this tiny. So our job is to work on those using the simple methodology of the flow, just presence. So it changes. The neurons associated with the positive states, they are growing bigger. The pathways become wider. There are more pathways. It's this part is neuroscience. So awareness first, allow, welcome, embrace. I could have just said that. Grace, awareness first, allow, welcome, embrace. And that's it. We want the experience, right? So the more we experience it together, the more we exercising it together.
Yes. Thank you. That was great.
Very, very welcome. Grace, thank you for your amazing questions, and thank you for, as always, you're awesome. Love your questions and love your willingness to be vulnerable and to open up a little bit, about your experiences, and just everybody really benefits from that. We all do, because when we see another human being feeling something quote unquote negative and releasing it, we're learning by osmosis. It's called mirror neurons. We're learning by just being here. So it's all part of the transformation. And if you guys don't want to talk, don't. You don't have to. There's no pressure whatsoever. Just showing up here gives you the value of transformation in a more passive way, but that's still transformation. So the rule is like this: I'm going to be here for as long as you need me. So if there are questions, no problem. I'll stay here for as long as I need to stay. And if there are no questions, we'll be wrapping up soon. But the floor is open. So let me know if you want to address anything else or ask anything else or share any gains that you may have had. Take it as a no. So have an amazing rest of your day. Have an amazing rest of your night. To a participant from an amazing place in Europe, which I've been to a couple of times, Switzerland. So Andre, Christine, Grace, Maria, thank you so much. Love you guys. Be well. See you next time. Take care.